It appears that I am in focus. Welcome everyone. Peace, peace, peace. My name is Brother L, and we're going to get into some beat making. And the first thing we must do is to kind of get into the vibe. So, yo, yo. Yes, indeed. So, the last video or the last exercise that we did, we made a track. We started from some basics and built from there. This is the track that we made. So check it out. This is the arrange page. Remember I told you, arranging, editing, arranging. You keep reworking your piece until you like it. Right. And so we had some homework. The homework was that you would actually go in and make a track, compose it. A track of 4 bars with a few different parts, and then integrate some sampling into it. Well, today we're going to pause that and we're going to come back to that. But I want to start again with a different vibe, okay? We're going to start again from scratch. And to do that, we go into our GarageBand. You see this right here? It looks like a little document because you're about to create a new document, a new file. We're going to press there. And then we're going to use our plus here to add a new GarageBand track. All right. So we're starting new and fresh. You know, because that's how we like to do it. You know, we like to do it that way. We can start with keys. We can start with drums. Last time I showed you about smart drums. Real quick, smart drums work like this. You drag a drum in, and it's going in. And it starts making patterns based on the area that the drum is placed. It's like different quadrants. So you have loud, soft or quiet, simple, complex. So we got it. All right. I love that. That's pretty cool. But today we're not going to use that. We're going to go into our browser and we're going to select the drummer. So the drummer is even a more advanced algorithm based drummer that will allow you to create some drums. So let's check it out. All right. You have different profiles. Kyle's a profile, Logan's a profile, Anders, and then you can actually read and see what their styles are. So Kyle's pop rock, Anders is hard rock. We got electronic styles. We got Magnus. We got Leah. We got Jasper, dubstep. We got Maurice, boom bap. We got Dez, trap. You probably already know that I'm about to choose Maurice, right? All right. But for those who like trap, you could choose that. It's for you. All right. This is just about music and making fun with creativity and really being together, you know, under this quarantine time and doing something real interesting. So once you choose it, what comes out here is that GarageBand has done all the work for you. You got a different algorithmic drummer here where you got loud, soft, complex, simple. Same thing as before. But this one you get to pull in the drums and out by just signifying this. Okay? So let's hear what Logic has come up. I'm sorry, GarageBand. Logic is the pro version of GarageBand. I'm normally using that, so forgive me. Oh, and one thing before we start, which I should have told you before. Remember, I say I like working in 4-bar increments because working in 8-bar increments sometimes is a bit long, you know, for like these beginning exercises. So let's go in and adjust that. Remember I told you different sections? So let's go into this and make it 4 bars. Okay. Got it. Cool. All right. Now we have 4 bars. Let's press play and see what they've come up with. Okay. We can turn the metronome off because the drummer is already on beat. All right. So what happens when I take out the snare? That's pretty cool. And now you have different presets that you can go into. You got higher learning. I wonder what higher learning is. They're probably like some algorithm that came from KRS-One. Keeping it real? Let's see what that's all about. That's not too bad. Let's see what the message. Okay. Tipping point. Let's see what this tipping point. Ooh, that tipping point is nice. Wheels of steel. Okay. I think I'm feeling this tipping point. Now, choose what you want based on your own vibe, right? Because what appeals to me may not appeal to you, and that's the beauty of this thing. It's all about your creativity. We're bringing the inner out into the environment, into the universe, making things come in our own organic ways, right? So when I hear this, I wonder how it would sound to put that snare back in there. Nah, I don't know about that. I think I want it louder though. Yeah, a little louder. Okay, I like that. I think I want less feels. Remember I told you, if I put feel all the way where you heard that? That was signifying the next portion, right? Okay. And this is only a bass to start. So this drummer has already did all the work for you, all the algorithm. I'm taking out all the fields so that we can just have a simple loop to just kind of work around. All right. So now let's go back to our browser. Boom. All right. What sound do we want to go with that? Ooh, guitar. We didn't try guitar yesterday. Or I should say Monday. So guitar works like this. Some people may ask, why am I only using GarageBand for iOS? For one simple reason. It's much more intuitive to work with, and all the tools are right here. You don't need an external keyboard or anything of that nature, and it's free if you have an Apple product, okay? If you have GarageBand only for your laptop or your PC, well, we'll have to address that at a later time. If you have specific questions about that, I can answer them in the chat later, okay? But in this moment, we're working only with iOS GarageBand for iPad and iPhone. They work pretty much the same. So we talked about key. Key to keep ourselves sounding good, right? GarageBand allows us to set the key. And today I feel like I want to work within the key of let's see who's out there. Okay, cool. We got some people listening, vibing with us. All right, great. Let's work with the key of A. How about that, y'all? Let's see what we come up with. That's the acoustic guitar, but we got a few other ones. Classic clean. Oh, that's something I didn't mention. So you can hit the frets individually. or you can strum, or depends on your feel. This classic clean sounds great to me. Only one thing, I feel like it might be a bit loud for our track. So remember, I told you that one of the things that's very important is when you're designing your soundscape, everything has to have place, right? So if you think about it like this, think about it as a table, like this table right here. If I have a bunch of things on this table and I want to add something different, there may not be room for it, okay? So to make room for it, I may turn the volume down so that and that's kind of like cleaning up space so something can exist and it can have its own space, right? We're practicing social distancing right now because you're in your homes and I'm in mine. My home is also called the BeatMaking Studios. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so we just turned the volume down a little bit. Let's see how this sounds within the track. That's it. What's it? I think I figured it out. That's it. Let's record that. So remember, this is your cursor, also called the timeline marker. We always need to be cognizant of where that position is if we're going to record, right? So it's at 1 now, but it was over here, And there may be a time or a point where you want to record specifically at the 4th bar. So then you'll bring it there and then you'll hit record and then you'll be recording. But right now we want 1 because we want to keep it on the 1, like my man James Brown always said. All right? Counting us in, and I think I went. That's not bad. But I want to turn it down a little bit. It's still a little high. And you have some other tools right here. You have treble and bass. These are plugins and EQs, right? That's a little bit more complicated than I want to get into, but it's really not complicated at all. The idea behind the compressor is that if you have a sound, let's solo this sound. And where's the solo button? I told you about it, right? This looks like you're muting something out. Solo is this, so let's play it. Okay. Let's slide the compressor to the right. Okay, now I'm gonna disengage it. All the way again. There's a subtle but very interesting difference. The compressor is actually making the sound a bit louder. That's the easy part, you can hear that. But what it's really trying to do is that it's taking the soft notes, right, and making them louder so that between a particular threshold. So for instance, if you make something like really soft and say, I really want this to be louder, but I don't want to re-record it. Okay, the compressor will take that same thing and make it louder, just like I just did with my voice, right? Good musicians, accomplished musicians, once they've been practicing, work with dynamics. That's part of their tool set where, like, they can play something soft or they can play something, louder based on the idea that they're trying to present. But what happens when in a studio environment, when you do something and you want to correct it, let's just say you play it a little bit too loud and you want to boost up some of those low notes, and keep them where the high notes are. That's what a compressor does. It compresses these things to kind of like equalize them out so they're all in a certain area. Okay, that's the quick compression for dummies hookup, right? There's no dummies out here, but you know, I'm just using that term because y'all know what that means. So I'm going to pull up that compressor a little bit. And these are all tools to like create your sonic scape. As you can already see that there's a little bit of echo and a little bit of reverb on it. Let's turn the echo all the way up. Can you tell what an echo is? It's just a copy of that same signal over and over, right? Okay, we don't need that much for this particular thing. I kind of like what they had going there. But let's see how it sounds with no reverb. Reverb is a simulation of a room. Every room has its own sound. That's without. Still sounds like a little reverb on it, but that's because the echo, that brings me to a whole nother concept, but because I really get into these things. Echoes, because they're like copies of a sound, can simulate the sound of reverb if they're very short delays. Another name for echo is a delay, right? Okay, so in this particular case, it's kind of sounding that way, but not so much. All right, we need a little bit of reverb. And now let's bring our drums back. Okay. We need some bass, right? So, what did I hit here? I went. Sometimes it's just good to take yourself some notes, right? So I hit F, E, D, D, B minor. So it was F sharp minor, E, D, I did twice, and then B minor. These are chords, right? All right, so let's write that down. I went F sharp minor. I went B minor. I went D. I went twice on D, and then I came back to what? No, actually that was E. I'm sorry. So I went F, E minor, D, and then I came back to B minor, and kind of resolved the whole thing. This is going to be our short notation to keep ourselves together so that when we move to the next thing, we'll know, you know, what we hit before, because of these smart tools are allowing us to stay organized and keep us in key, which essentially keeps us from making things that don't particularly sound so great within this, right? At some point, we'll take that off, but right now, that's what we're using. Let's put some synthesizers in. You know, anybody knows me, I love synthesizers. Let's find one. Where can we find the synthesizers? So there's a thing called the Alchemy synth within the keyboard area. Let's hit that. That's cool, but that's not what I want. You can go through the various synthesizer sounds by clicking here, and then they'll come up. You can go bass sounds, keyboard sounds, lead sounds, mallets, pads, rhythmic sounds. Okay, all right. I think we want. This is interesting. They have bass patterns already. So they're trying to help you come up with a pattern. I wonder what that's like. Bass patterns. So remember, this is just the regular keyboard, piano style keyboard, but we can change that to our smart keyboard again. Remember, we hit F, E minor, D, we hit it twice, and then B minor, right? So we can go back. Go. 1, but it's interesting. No, I don't think I like that for this. I think I want to go with something I have a bit more control over. Let's find a nice bass. We thinking we want to be dark? That's a little bit too epic for us right now. That might be interesting. There you go. Let's see how that sounds. Boom, boom, boom. And here we go. There we go. Alright, I like that. Let's record that in. You know, you all keep hearing these sounds, these alarms popping off. It's because I got scheduled things to do and I haven't changed all my alarms. So I got like 1,000 alarms set so to keep me on time. So bear with me. Let me turn this off. It's kind of annoying. Obviously, I only have one thing to do right now is to hang out with you all. All right. So undo. Undo's your best friend. And here we go. Again, GarageBand has this thing. If you don't exactly start on the one, it won't catch it the first time around, but it did catch it. So if you start the track again, you'll hear that that note was recorded. That's pretty cool. It's sounding all right. And remember, we can go back and tailor that sound a little bit to make it even better. Let's put a little more compression on it. Put a little bit more bass. GarageBand even gives you other controls with this, right? That's the dark and snappy version. Percussive, muted, solid sub. Ooh, solid sub sounds cool. Okay, this is hip hop, right? One thing in hip hop that we like to do is layer drums because, you know, one loop probably isn't enough, right? And then that's the whole thing with sound designing. So imagine this, you know, that's what people sometimes used to anger me about, like how they valued hip hop and the skill that was going into actually making these beats. Okay, but so check this out. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go in and we're going to add another drum. Let's add underneath that drum. We can add drums that we hit on our own. Right? So let's find some sounds. I'll go back for some. I went to drums, went to acoustic drums, right? Okay. That's not the set I want. Let's go into electronic. Let's look at all of these different sets. GarageBand also, just FYI, gives you more kits to download. You can download more sounds. I have, I guess, 3 other sound kits that are available to be downloaded. But at this moment, I'm pretty content with this. They have some sounds called Crate Digger. What's that all about? Interface change. That's nice. So let me show you something about this. If you take 2 fingers, let's do it like this. You see that? 2 finger, it's going to actually give you that rhythm of your metronome. And now It's doubling. I know y'all starting to see some possibilities, right? That was like a feel. You didn't even have to. So you didn't have to do it that way. You just. Very interesting, right? Kind of was like a flam and some cool stuff. So let's figure this out. So if we want to record this, we got to do this the traditional way. So this is almost like a regular drum pad. You know, likened to the experience of an MPC. Maybe one day we'll go into some history of drum machines and whatnot, but this is a very familiar format where you like work with pads. And this interface is simulating these pads. And now let's come up with a pattern. If we want to record our pattern, remember, just gonna give us our countdown. We go. That was cool. Let's see what else we want to add. That's cool. I'm enjoying that. That's recorded in. I want to add more drums. So I'm going to go in, and this is our arrangement. Remember that. Let's take a moment to talk about some things we just did. Cool. So we began a new project. We added some instruments, right? We learned how to control those instruments within the track. We changed some settings to suit us. One thing that I'm kind of adamant at this point, right, is that we want to start using 4-bar loops. Just because I think it's easy to maintain and easy to keep an account of what's going on. We didn't change the tempo because we used an algorithm that was already a cool tempo for us. It was 85. But normally if it's too slow or too fast, you can adjust that. And we did change the key, right? Change the key to 8. So these are all tools that we use to create. We recorded some phrases. We've been adding additional parts. And we have not gotten to the arranging, editing. One of my favorite parts. Because you will keep working a track forever. Yeah. So, I don't know, some real interesting smart person said that art is only abandoned. It's never finished. I don't know how true that is, but in some cases of my own life, I would have to say that it has some merit. All right. Back to this arrangement. See, you got everything going on. You can see we got the drum tracks. This is how to expand and get a little bit more control, so you can actually see the volumes, right? So I got 2 drum tracks. Let's just say if you want to organize this, you can hold, click and hold. So now my drums are by themselves, together. Then I can move this bass on up too if I want to. That'll come in handy very much later. You know, just kind of keeping an idea of how you are arranging your tracks and how you're setting up this, because eventually you'll have to mix these things. And if they're in a particular order, you won't miss anything. That's the idea of being organized with this. So let's add some more drums, because, you know, hip-hop is about the drum beats and the rhythms, and we're gonna do a little bit of something else. Let's see, drums. Oh, one of my favorites, the percussion. Let's see how this sounds if we find a cool percussion. This is the Smart Drummer. We got a pop drummer Quincy, back to basics. Let's see. First call. What does this algorithm sound like? Very subtle. Right? That's all he's playing. We can have him play more, but well, let's listen to it in context. That's cool. But let's go back and see if we can have him do a little something more interesting. That's all I want him to play is the tambourine. But it's a little bit too low for me. So he's in there, right? And we can change this. We go to our arrangement. We can turn it up, but we could even do something different than that. We can go in here. Remember that compressor. Remember the compressor can bring a soft signal up. Remember that? A little bit. Got the volume. And nothing makes sense unless it's in context, right? You can tweak all day and isolate instruments, but if it's not in context, then, you know, you don't really know what it sounds like. That's cool. I like that. All right. Cool. Now let's go back to our Levity Love arrangements. Yeah. I'm keeping my setup real simple for you all. I'm just working with that. I'm also working with you know, this Motu interface. It's pretty cool. You don't need that. I'm just happy because I'm fancy. And I want you to be able to hear a little bit better of what I'm doing. I'm also working with some microphones, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, it's good to stay hydrated. One day, that might be the assignment, to record Brother L drinking water and then incorporate that into your track. All right. Let me just check and see if everybody's online and enjoying themselves and getting everything correctly. All right. Cool. Yeah, we got some people. Well, we got Marvin Gladney. Okay. Yeah, but we got folks all the way from South Africa, Johannesburg. Odysseus, my man, peace to you. Yeah, we got Anita Johnson. Okay, we got Tasleen. She's a great artist. Yeah, from Chi to Michigan. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's get back into it. What you think we need to add? All right, we'll give it one more spin before we start tweaking the arrangement section of this. I think I want to include something. Had the guitar. That's melodic, but I think we need something a little more. What would this koto sound like? We can change, right? So you can play the notes on these frets. Or we can go to a more familiar interface, like what I showed you earlier. And remember, what do we have here? F sharp, E minor, D, B minor, right? Okay, so let's go back. Let's play that and see if we can come up with something interesting. I heard it went. think that was it. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try something. Let's just see. See. That wasn't too bad. I think we do it better though. It's all about the better performance. Almost. I like the I think it deserves that. So we're gonna abandon our structure and play what sounds good. So here we go. Okay, there we go. 2 and 3 and go. That was pretty cool. Now we can go into the arrangement and say we can actually edit that. Remember, if you want to get into the editing features of the arrange page, it's very simple. You just double click. Options appear. Right now what we want to do is we want to split these notes right here. So you see the scissor comes up. It's kind of funny. Scissor comes up and then you have to drag it down and then you cut it. And then from there you can delete that. So double click and now you delete. That's gone. If I want to copy this, I copy it and then I double click and then I paste it. So now that is my performance again. Bring that bass back in. Here we go now. Playing with the mutes is often really a cool idea to figure out what the track sounds like. That's not too bad. Now, check this out. They got this series on, I think, is it Vice or something, where people do like a track in 10 minutes or less, you know, and some people get in there and do it really easily, and then some people just struggle with an idea. I sure do wish that they would put Brother L on there. We would come up with like at least about 3 tracks in 10 minutes and perform them. But that's a whole nother story. What is it called? I forget the name of that series. Anyway, all right. I want to take one moment here to make sure that you all have done. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't see. Okay, there you go. I want to make sure, take one moment to make sure you have added Brother L's social media. Let's do that. All right. And to do so, what you will do is, I'm trying to get fancy over here. Add the social media is this. On IG, I am at the brother named L, named past tense. Facebook.com, I'm just Brother L, right? Because that's what we're streaming from right now. And on Twitter, I am at Brother L, right? A lot of people told me that I should use this opportunity to, let you all know what I'm doing because it's important, right? Mm-hmm. We'll take about, 20 more seconds to make sure y'all do that while y'all breathing. And then we'll recap what we've been doing and we'll go into a new phase. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I know that's pretty fancy. I know. Let's take it off now. Come back. And we back. Cool. How y'all doing out there? Everybody alive? Let me shoot. Let me know. Let me know you're there. All right. Cool. So, what's been going on here is that what we have, like I said, we started a track, added some instruments, changed controls, and the settings. The control of the instrument controls a lot of different things. It controls the sound, controls the tonality, controls lots of different things, These are all tools in your tool case, right? That you can use, your toolbox, so to speak, that you can use to create things, right? Recording phrases is easy. The interface with GarageBand is really cool because you get that tactile thing almost as if it was another keyboard, which brings up another conversation or thought anyway. Is this a real instrument or not? Well, if you ask Brother L, synthesizers, drum machines, dolls are real instruments, and how you engage with them, because when you engage with something and it evokes an emotional tonal character and it's expressive of your ideas, that's all an instrument is. Okay. Next, let's go back here. Mixing. We did a bit of mixing, right? We got so that mixing aspect was right here when we opened up the little mixing panel. Sometimes it's hard to get this to open. Like you see right now, I'm struggling sometimes to get it to move. But it's there, right? Okay. We recorded a phrase. And now I probably want to show you about sharing. But I'm going to hold that for a moment because I want to add a little bit more to this track and then begin arranging. Okay. Looks like somebody wants me to arrange. Okay. Sounds good. I'm with that. All right. So in this little area to the right, there's something called the section arrange, right? So what we would do there is that we would duplicate a section. Remember, we made it 4 bars. We're going to duplicate this section. And now that's a total independent section of it. And you can see that one is kind of blacked out and the other one isn't. So if we go to this section and then click out of there, that's how the track begins. This is section A. So remember when we were playing with the mutes, I kind of enjoyed things coming in a little bit slowly. So let's not let the drums come in. Let's let and you see what I just did, because now all these drums are together. I'm always about organization when it comes to this stuff. I wish I was more like that in my house. So I think a good idea would be to erase all the drums except that tambourine. So we'll double click. Erased it. I want to erase that bass too, because we don't need that at this moment, because we want to build up into something. Let's see what that sounds like. So that doesn't sound good either, so we're going to erase. That's something to think about. Things in isolation don't always sound how you envisioned them, But when they're into the track, they sound cool, right? Because you're not actually planning on letting people listen to this in that manner. So something to think about when you're arranging. That's not bad. So now, let's click our little section area, the song section. Now, that's B. Goes into it. We want to duplicate B one more time because now we want to lead up to that. All right, so B, we want to get back into section B. All right, so what do we want to come in after that? I could say we could drop the drums in there, maybe. Or maybe we just put the bass in. Let's see. So let's pull this out. Definitely want to take that out. Put the bass. Take these drums out. Let's see. I'll tell you something that kind of slightly annoys me is that this little trill here. That might not bother you, but I want to take it out. So let's go back to it right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out. Remember I showed you how to cut and split. And we're going to split right here too. So why am I splitting twice? Double click. Because we're going to copy this and then we're going to delete this one. And we're going to place. So now watch. I think we can do one even better. Let's copy it here, and then let's see if it'll just paste over this whole thing. It sure did. Oh, that's cool. I'm also going to show you something else. So if we go into the Quincy, that drummer, and we just have this highlighted, we can go in and tell Quincy to change this one. And then we can say, Quincy, we want this to be loud, but we're changing the character just like that. All right. Now that's cool. Now we've done that. We've just did some editing. So that's something to think about. Even with the virtual drummers, so to speak, algorithmic based things, you have a lot of control as to how you implement these into your creations, right? Okay, so let's get back to our arrangement. Section B, let's go into it. Okay, I even want to, section B, I want to bring it down just a little bit. Okay, so, and then section then we're going to go and change it in section C as well. This is a way to not make your loops so static. You can always, you know, change them. So now let's go back to our full arrangement page here, and let's add all sections in so we can hear how this piece sounds in its totality. We got 3 4-bar loops, section A, B, C. Now we're going to hear them all together. Bring it, your cursor to number 1, and let's play it. Yeah, that's cool. I'm digging that. So I want to copy one more section. I want to copy section C. I want to duplicate it. And what I like to do, I like to get to section C here, and I want to erase this koto in its entirety from right here and delete it. So that now what we have effectively is, for these all sections, we have this build up. Everything builds up and then all instruments are in, right? And that's kind of the idea of making this sonic scape. Remember I told you that, like, if you have this desk, and then so we want to add something right here, we put something there, and we move all these things around to have their particular space. Okay, so that I can see this clearly, I can see this clearly. Okay, okay, seeing, hearing. Okay, all right, that's how we're working with this. I think we need something else. Any suggestions, gang? What else should we put up in here? What we need? Come on now, this is a class, online class. I hope you all being attentive. You know, I like to know what you think in the manner. Now, I'm sure you've been following along. I didn't need you to actually reproduce the same thing that I did, but I would have liked you to work in the manner that I'm working, so that, like, we can learn from each other, right? So, like I say, this is kind of our map. Where we at now? We keep working our arrangement, and we'll keep doing this over and over until we come to a place where we're satisfied with our sound and our ideas. And we're kind of mixing as we go. That's what we're doing. We're mixing as we go, because we go in, we record a track, and then we, mess around with the compression, the EQ a little bit. I didn't explain the EQ so much because I actually want to spend some time with that on a later date. Because EQ is a fantastic tool to, embellish sounds, or to not embellish sounds. It depends on the place, Like, for instance, if you're painting, they have this thing called what? The base coat? Not the base coat. What is it when you're painting? It's you're painting and you put this primer. You put a primer on the wall or wherever you're doing to, and then you apply color so that the color is nice and thick, and it will adhere, and the vibrance of that color will come through more, and it'll actually be more durable. So EQ can work in that manner too. You can EQ certain things to have priority, or to deprioritize things, so that, like, the sonic palette can be nice and thick and juicy. Yeah. You get that? Okay. So, anybody what should we add up in here? Okay. Let's see. What are we adding? Well, we have 16 bars so far, right? We kind of have an intro, which is this 4-bar section, I guess. Intro to build up. Maybe it's even 8 bars, because it goes into this, and then the track is kind of fully in from like 9 to 16, I guess. But we're working in these small increments because, obviously we can expand and expand these into a full song, right? And that's just how we're working at this moment. But let's find another instrument to work. I feel like I want to get back into some more synthesis. Let's find some more synthesizer sounds. I don't particularly care for that. Let's see what's going on here. That's it. That's it right there. Okay, so if I were to record now, I don't know if you noticed, but our timeline market goes from 1 to 16. I would have to record all 16 bars or record a certain phrase and then copy it throughout these 16 bars. But in this particular case, what I think I would like to do, I think I'll just do that. Let's record it. 2. That's not what I played. What did I do? Let's just play along until I find something I like. That's a good way of doing things sometimes too. Alright, we're just gonna freestyle out here. 1 and 2. Here we go. That's not bad. So then we're going to our arrangement. We just recorded 8-bar phrase of that, right? So what did I tell you? Bring this cursor and we're going to cut. So double click. We bring the cursor to where we want to cut. So we're going to split it. And then we double click it. We delete it. What we do now, we're going to copy, paste. Boom. Now let's hear our magnificent piece. Yeah. No, it didn't. Let me see something. I didn't like that. It didn't sound as good as I thought it did. That's the thing. Sometimes you play something and think you're jamming, and then you listen back, you're like, man, you weren't jamming like you thought you was, Joe. Undo. Remember, undo is your best friend because I didn't do it like I really wanted to. That can happen. So double click, copy, bring the cursor, boom, boom. All right. All right. That's cool. I still feel like I want to add some more sounds. So let's add some more sounds. Some more synthesizer. More synthesizer. What's this sound like? Nah, it's too slow, gradually moving. It's definitely too loud. But let's see what it sounds like. So, we're coming out with something. And 2 and 3 and 4 go. I'm kind of feeling that, but it's got so much delay. You hear how it goes? On and on and on. Okay, we could change that. And that's probably why they call it the classic 80s epic brass. To change that, let's see what it's looking like over here. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's find another sound. That's kind of evolving, but what that sound like? One thing it may take some time to get used to is just kind of moving through this interface. Like what do I do to get this off the screen? Okay, normally what I like to do to think about is that what's happening up top. Is there anything that's highlighted up top? That means that, well, you don't see anything. That means that you can't really control it from up top. You got to control it from where it is. So like for instance, if this is up, you see that little blue signification? Okay, the only way to get that out of there is to, right? That's one way they do it, and then sometimes it's just like you think you touched something and it just didn't register. So take your time. Be easy with yourself, right? Don't be so hard on yourself. Okay, I think this is a good time to pause, and I gave you all some homework. The homework was about the sampler. Okay, you were supposed to make a track. And integrate a sampler. How many people had success with that? Let's see if anybody's communicating. Okay. All right. So the ideal way to do this is that when you make a track, I want you to export it. Okay. So I need to show you how to export it so that you can actually you maybe upload a copy to like Google Drive and then drop a link into this chat so that I can hear it. Okay, so right now what we're going to learn is sharing, how to share. So let's just say we enjoy the mix, it's good. We want to share this track with others. So to do that, we would go back into our document section. The document section is at the top, right here, boom. Okay. And we're going to name this song. So remember, like, click and hold. Options come up. Rename. We're going to call this one. Let's see who's been here the longest. It's really hard for me to tell, but I'm going to call this one Marvin. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. No, it doesn't appear that Marvin has been in long years. Looks like it's Odysseus. All right, Odysseus. This track is called Odysseus. Oh, I always spell his name wrong. Sorry, man. Yes, we call it Odysseus. And there it is. All right. So this track is called Odysseus. And to share this track, we would go hit click, hold, and then share. And it gives us some options. These options are share as a song, a ringtone. I have not worked with ringtones, but that would be interesting. If you want to check that out, we can. Share as a project. Project means that, let's just say I want to share this file with another musician or someone I want to collaborate, and I want to give them all of the inner workings of the track. That's what I would do. But for now, all I want to do is share this song. Gives us more options. How do we want to share the song? What quality of file do we want to share? This could be a conversation within itself, a whole class about exporting and for what purpose and why you want to do certain things. But for this point, if we're just sharing it amongst ourselves, this high quality MP3 is fine. 256 kilobits per second is good. But let's just imagine if this was a finished song, we would want to save it and export it as either uncompressed wave or an uncompressed AIFF. Okay, and let's name this song. The artist is Brother L. That's me. And then the composer, that's me too. And the album is BeatMaking with Brother L. Yes. I could be funny and put quarantine style. All right. But I'm not. Okay. So now what we want to do, we want to share. Okay. Now it's going to give us more options. Where do we share this file? This could be complicated. It gives us a few different things here. And some of this you have to have already set up. Okay. So for me, what I am going to do is I will share, we can share, because I don't have email set up on this, because I just use this as a tool for creation, not for composing emails. Some things you can share directly. You can share directly in the SoundCloud if you make a SoundCloud account and then put it in there. What I think I want to do is share, I want to save mine to Dropbox because I know Dropbox is connected. And you would have to have a Dropbox file. I mean, a Dropbox an account to do so. You can also share with AirDrop. But if you're working on, that's if somebody is in the area, you know, in the room with you. Okay, made us an MP4A. I need to choose a folder. I need to choose a folder. It's in my personal folder. Only me. Yes, only me. And they can't upload it. That's because I don't have my internet connected on this device so that I won't be interrupted. But that's how you do it. Okay? And then you would share it. And then from there, you would work with Dropbox, and you would give a link to that Dropbox file, and you can plug that link directly into the chat. Right? That making sense to you? Okay? I think this is a good time to stop. I will be back real soon. You know, I'll be back. When will I be back? Good question. When will the Brother L be back? Brother L will be back on Friday at when? 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will attend to those, and we'll move forward. I want to hear what you have done. That's very important to me, all right? So on that note, we're going to play this song on the way out. This song dedicated to Odysseus, live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Come on. Yeah. That's right, y'all. It's all right to bob your head.